Good evening, all. Namo Buddhaya. Very warm welcome to regular Saturday evening Dhamma Dana blessing program. This is the holy month. We call the month of May is the Buddha month, the Vesak month that our Lord Buddha was born, enlightened, and passed away into the great Parinibbana on the full moon day in the month of May. We call the Vesak. So this month is a very special month for all of us as Buddhists to come together and engage in the teachings. When the Buddha passed away, particularly the monks who were living close by went into a lot of difficulties emotionally and couldn't even control themselves. Whereas only one monk went into a quiet place and sat and started persevering in the practice. All the monks were complaining about that monk being heartless at a time of sorrow and despair, not being thoughtful about the great loss. When Buddha heard that he was on the last few days, that a monk has not been saddened about the last few days of the Buddha, but being isolated and practicing. However, Buddha appreciated rather being emotionally overwhelmed if someone really take the interest of gaining the practice and gaining the development as he preached. That would be the highest gratitude that can be delivered to the Buddha. When the Buddha has come into last his few days, every monks were very upset, very saddened, and they were emotionally worried and railed around the Buddha and started weeping and getting very sad. Only one monk was sitting in a corner, started practicing. And all the monks were complaining that he has been somewhat heartless, not been upset or worried about the situation. When the Buddha heard about this, Buddha said something very important. He said, Vaya Dhamma Sankhara, all conditioned things. Sankhara means conditioned things. Vaya means come to a dissolution, subject to change. Vaya means changing. Dhamma means that is the nature. Appamadena sampadeta, Buddha said, therefore monks, no matter how much we love, how much we dear and like it, if that is something conditioned, they all subject to perish. Therefore, concentrate diligently more on the purpose once you're given the opportunity to make that life more progress. For example, rather just being worried about the loss of the Buddha, be more diligent, more ardent, more perseverance on what he tried to explain and make the life more progress and success upon what he taught is the most important thing said by the Buddha. So today we are commemorating that great teacher. And even though all other monks were complaining, that single monk who was isolated and more persevering in the practice, Buddha praised him as doing the right thing. Of course, we are human beings, we do have emotions, feelings, but what we can be proud of by fulfilling our qualities in this very life and making a difference to the community, the society, while we are also progressing ourselves. With that sentiment, we are celebrating the life of the Buddha during this month of Vesak, month of May. In addition to our regular program, we bring more heartfulness, more faith into these programs. These programs can be sponsored, through which you can gain more merits, because sharing the teaching is the highest form of giving. There are different types of giving, like taking care of elders, supporting the needy, giving and sharing food, volunteering our labor to support in many ways. There are a lot of ways to practice the giving. Giving is a very important practice for the spiritual development, charity or sharing. Among those various kinds of giving, giving the truth, sharing the teachings of the Buddha is the highest form of giving. So this is what we call sharing the Dhamma. This is the Dhamma Dana we call. This can be sponsored. Anyone interested to remember their special occasions or loved ones or share merits. Today our sponsorship is being taken by Miss Laura Woodward and family, in great memory of beloved father, Mr. Joe Woodward, wishing loving father the lasting peace, happiness, and the liberation into the lasting happiness and peace with the power of this meritorious blessings. May he rejoice in our good work, in our good practices, in our beautiful sharing of this Dhamma, the teachings for the welfare and the well-being of the many. And may he rejoice in our blessings and rest in lasting peace. Also, may the blessings be with Laura and family and all in their family, friends. May they find the good health, happiness, and success in all aspects of the life. Today, this event is being sponsored by Mrs. Laura Woodward in loving memory of Mr. Joe Woodward, beloved father, wishing the lasting happiness, liberation to the beloved father. And also all those who are departed in the family, may they all equally share the merits and gain the lasting happiness, liberation in their journey. Also, may the blessings be with everyone in the family for the good health, protection, progress, and happiness. May no harm, difficulties come to them. May they always rejoice in good health and happiness. Bearing that in our heart, let us share the blessings, merits by saying 3 times, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Now we are moving into our regular Dhamma program. First, we will observe the 5 precepts. After that, we will pay our homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha together. And then there will be a Sinhala Dhamma sermon about 20 minutes. Those who are not familiar with the language during that time, they can sit in meditation with the contemplation. They are listening to the Dhamma. It's a subject of meditation called Dhamma Anusati. After that, we will continue our program in English. We'll have an English Dhamma sermon, protection, chanting, blessings, and sharing the teachings by the children, and ending with the meditation program. Now, to start our program, please say Namo Tassa 3 times to observe the 5 precepts.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Atiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Atiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Atiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Anatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Anatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinādāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinādāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kāmesu miccāchārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kāmesu miccāchārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Suramēraya majjapamādāṭṭāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Suramēraya majjapamādāṭṭāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
We pay our homage to the supremely enlightened Lord Buddha. Let us spend few minutes paying our homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha together. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Itti beso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vijjācarana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati satta deva manussanang buddho bhagavati buddhang devitang yava nibbanang saranang gacchami swakhato bhagavata dhammo sanditthiko akaliko passiko opanayiko paccattang veditabbo vinyuhiti dhammang jivitang yava nibbanang saranang gacchami swakhato bhagavata dhammo sanditthiko akaliko ehipassiko opanayiko paccattang veditabbo vinyuhiti dhammang jivitang yava nibbanang saranang gacchami supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho ujjupatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho nyāya patipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho sāmīti patipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho yadidang cattari purisa yugani atta purisa puggala esa bhagavato sāvaka sangho āhuneyo pāhuneyo dakkineyo anjali karaniyo anuttarang puññakketang lokassāti sanghang jīvitang yāva nibbanang saranang gacchāmi vandāmi cetiyang sabbang sabbatāni supatittitang sāririka dhātu mahābodhiṃ buddha rūpaṃ sakalang sadā yassa mūle nisingnova sabbāri vijayang akāpatto sabbang yutam sattā vande tang bodhipādapang ime te mahabodhi lokanātena pujitā ampite namassāmi bodhirāja namassute ganasārappa Padittena dīpena tamadang sinati loka dīpang sambuddhang pujayami tamonudang සම්භාර යුත්තේන
දූපේනාහං සුගන්ධිනා පූජයේ පූජනීයන්තං
පූජා වාජන මුත්තමං වන්න ගන්ධ
ගුණෝපේතං
ඒතං කුසුම සන්තතින්
පූජයාමි මුනිං දස්ස සිරිපාද සරෝරුවේ
පූජේමි බුද්ධං කුසුමේන නේන පුඤ්ඤේන මේතේන ලභාමි මොක්ඛං පුප්පං මිලායාති යතයි ධම්මේ කායෝ තථායාති විනාශ භාවං සුගන්ධං සීතලං කප්පං පසන්න මధుරං සුභං පානීය මේතං භගවා පතිගන්හාතු උත්තම අදිවාසේ තුනෝ බන්තේ ගිලාන පච්චයං ඉමං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පතිගන්හාතු උත්තම අදිවාසේ තුනෝ බන්තේ සම්බං සද්දාය පූජිතං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පතිගන්හාතු උත්තම කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන පමාදේන මයා කතං අච්චයං කමමි භන්තේ භූරි පඤ්ඤ තථාගත කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන පමාදේන මයා කතං අච්චයං කමමි ධම්ම සංවිත්තික අකාලික කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන පමාදේන මයා කතං අච්චයං කමමි සංඝ සුපටිපන්න අනුත්තර ඉමිනා පුඤ්ඤ කම්මේන මාමි බාල සමාගමෝ සතං සමාගමෝ තු යාව නිබ්බාන පත්තියා ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවානාගා මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරන් රක්ඛන්තු ලෝක සාසනං ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවානාගා මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්ඛන්තු දේශනං ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවානාගා මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්ඛන්තු මං පරන්ති ධම්මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ ඉදං මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ ඉදං මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ සාදු 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 Now we are moving into our Sinhala Dhamma sermon, which would take about 20 minutes, during which time you can practice few minutes of meditation with the contemplation that listening to the teachings of the Buddha is a form of meditation, Dhammanupassana. After that, we will continue our program in English. හැමදෙනාටම තෙරුවන් සරණයි. සෑම සෙනසුරාදා දිනකම පැවැත්වෙන lecture ධම්මනිකේතන බෞද්ධ මධ්‍යස්ථානයේ සංවිධානය කරනු ලබන ධර්ම දාන ආශිර්වාද වැඩසටහනටයි සම්බන්ධ වෙන්නේ. මෙය ධර්ම දානමය පින්කමක් නිසා ධර්ම දාන පින්කම තමයි ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨම පින්කම. ඔබටත් මේ පින්කමේ දායකත්වය ලබා ගනිමින් ඒ උතුම් ධර්ම දානමය පින රැස් කර ගන්නට පුළුවන්කම තිබෙනවා. ඔබත් නිබඳු වූ පින්කමක දායකත්වය ලබා ගැනීමට කැමති නම් ඒ පිළිබඳව අපිට දැනුම් දෙන්න. අද දවසේ පින්කමේ දායකත්වය අරගෙන කටයුතු කරන්නේ ලෝරා වුඩ්වර්ඩ් මහත්මිය, දයාබර පියතුමාණන් වන ජෝ වුඩ්වර්ඩ් පියතුමාණන්ට නිවන් සුව ප්‍රාර්ථනා කිරීම වෙනුවෙන් එවාගේ පවුලේ සියලු දෙනාටම ආශිර්වාද කිරීම වෙනුවෙනුයි අද පින්කමේ දායකත්වය අරගෙන කටයුතු කරන්නේ. එතුමියගේ සියලු ප්‍රාර්ථනාවන් ඉෂ්ට සිද්ධ වේවා. දයාබර පියතුමාණන්ට නිවන් සුව සැලසේවා. පවුලේ සියලු දෙනාටම සියලු ආශිර්වාද වේවා කියන අදිෂ්ඨානීය ආශිර්වාද ඇති කරගෙන අද දවසට નિયમિત සිංහල ධර්මානුශාසනාව පවත්වන්නටයි අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. අද දවසෙත් සිංහල ධර්මානුශාසනාව පවත්වනු ලබන්නේ බද්දේගම ශ්‍රී රතනසාර විද්‍යායතනයේ විදුහල්පති ගාල්ල දුටුගැමුණු රජමහා විහාරස්ථානයේ අතිගෞරවනීය ශාස්ත්‍රපති පඬිත දාම්මල පියනන්ද පඬිත් හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේ විසින් කවුරුත් ගෞරවයෙන් ධර්ම දේශනාවට ආරාධනා කරමින් ධර්ම ශ්‍රවණය කිරීම පිණිස සාදුකාරයක් පවත්වනවා.
සමන්ත චක්කවාලේසු අත්‍රා ගච්ඡන්තු දේවතා සද්දම්මං මුනි රාජස්ස සුනන්තු සග්ග මොක්ඛදං ධම්ම ශ්‍රවණ කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා ධම්ම ශ්‍රවණ කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා ධම්ම ශ්‍රවණ කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නතං ගාති නිවාරේසි බ්‍රහ්ම ලෝකෝපපත්තියා අජ්ජායක කුලේ ජාතා බ්‍රාහ්මනාමන්ත බන්දුනෝ. මූලාසනයේ වැඩ සිටින ලෙස්වත් ධර්මනිකේතනාරාමාදීශ්වර අතිගෞරවනීය ශාස්ත්‍රපති අකුරල සමිත ස්වාමීන්ද්‍රයන් වහන්සේගෙන් අවසරයි. ධර්ම ශ්‍රවණාබිලාසී ලොකු කුඩා ශ්‍රද්ධාවන්ත පින්වත්නි, මේ වෙසක් සතියෙහි මෙම විහාරස්ථානයේහි පැවැත්වෙන ඒ දහම් වැඩසටහනෙහි ධර්මදේශනාව පැවැත්වීමටයි මා සූදානම් වන්නේ. විශේෂයෙන් වසල සූත්‍රයේහි 25 වන ගාථාව මා විසින් මාතෘකා කරන්නට යෙදුනේ. මේ පෞගී කාල පරිච්ඡේදයේම වසල සූත්‍රයේහි අඩංගු ආචාර ධර්ම එවැගේම බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ විසින් අනුමත කොට වදාළ ඒ දහම් කරුණු අප සිහිපත් කරන්නට යෙදුණා. ඒ අනුව අද දවසේ එම ගාථාවෙහි සාමාන්‍ය සරල අදහස එම ගාථාව නතං ජාති නිවාරේසි බ්‍රහ්ම ලෝකූපපත්තියා අජ්ජායක කුලේ ජාතා බ්‍රාහ්මනා මන්ත බන්දුනෝ. මේ ගාථාවේ සරල අදහස යම් කෙනෙක් ජාතිය නිසා එහෙම නැත්නම් උත්පත්තිය ලැබූ ස්ථානය අනුව බ්‍රහ්ම ලෝකේ එහෙම නැත්නම් බ්‍රහ්ම ලෝකයේ උත්පත්තිය ලැබීමට කිසිදු බාධාවක් ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ. අජ්ජායක කුලේ ජාතා බොහෝ සෙයින් ධර්මය ඉගෙන ගන්න වේදයේ ඉගෙන ගන්න පවුලක ඉපදුනත් බ්‍රාහ්මණයෙක් වුණත් ඒ කෙනා පාප කර්ම අකුසල කර්ම සිද්ධ කරනවා නම් ඒ අය බ්‍රහ්ම ලෝකේට උත්පත්තිය ලබන්නේ නැහැ කියන එකයි සරල අදහස. තවත් විදිහකින් ගත්තොත් කෙනෙකුගේ උත්පත්තිය ලබන ස්ථානය එහෙම නැත්නම් උපදීම ඊළඟ උත්පත්තිය තීරණය කිරීමට සාධකයක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ, හේතුවක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියන අදහසක් තමයි මේ ගාථා පන්තිෙහි අදහස වෙලා තිබෙන්නේ. අජ්ජායක කුලේ ජාතා. අජ්ජායක කියලා කියන්නේ ඉගෙන ගන්න කුලේ. අජ්ජායක කුලේ ජාතා බ්‍රාහ්මනා මන්ත බන්දුනෝ. මෙතන ඉගෙන ගැනීම කියන එකෙන් අදහස් කරලා තිබෙන්නේ බ්‍රාහ්මණ වේදය, වේද ධර්මය. වේදය බමුණන් විසින් ඉගෙන ගන්න ධර්මයක්. එම වේදය මුළු ජීවිත කාලෙම ඉගෙන ගත්තත් පාප කර්ම කරනවා නම් ඒ අය ඊළඟ භවය සුඛිත මුදිත වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියන එකයි මෙම ගාථාවෙහි අදහස. ලංකා ඉතිහාසයේ අපි දන්නෝ අවුරුදු 1500ක 2000ක වගේ අවුරුදු 2000ක වගේ ඉතිහාසයක් තිබෙනවා. මේ ඉතිහාසයේ නොයෙක් විදිහේ රජවරු පිළිබඳව මහා වංශයේ සඳහන් වෙනවා. මේ පින්වතුන් දන්නවා සීගිරිය. සීගිරිය ලංකාවේ තියෙන අග්‍රගණ්‍ය කලා නිර්මාණයක් හැටියටත් ආගමික මධ්‍යස්ථානයක් හැටියටත් රාජධානියක් හැටියටත් වැදගත් වෙන ස්ථානයක්. මේ ස්ථානීය නිර්මාණය කරනු ලැබුවේ පළවෙනි කාශ්‍යප රජුරෝ කියලා තමයි ඉතිහාසයේ සඳහන් වෙන්නේ. ඔහුටම සීගිරි කාශ්‍යප කියන නමත් විවහාර වෙනවා. මේ රජුරුවන්ගේ තාත්තා ධාතුසේන රජුරෝ. ධාතුසේන රජුරෝ තමයි කලාවැව නිර්මාණය කරන්නේ. කලාවැව නිර්මාණය කරපු ධාතුසේන රජුරෝ ක්‍රිස්තු වර්ෂ 5 වන සියවසේ අනුරාධපුර යුගයේ හිටපු මිනිස්සුන්ගේ ජන ජීවිතය සශ්‍රීක කරන්න, බත පුලතින් ස්වයංපෝෂිත කරන්න කටයුතු කරලා තිබෙනවා. ඔහුම තමයි ධාතුසේන රජුගේ කාලේ තමයි අවකන පිළිමය නිර්මාණය වුණයි කියලා ඉතිහාසය සඳහන් වෙන්නේ. මගේ මාතෘකාවට අනුව මම උදාහරණයක් ගේන්නේ සීගිරි කාශ්‍යපගේ. මගේ මාතෘකාව තමයි උසස් කුලයක ඉපදුනත් මන්ත්‍ර එහෙම නැත්නම් වේදයේ අතිශයින්ම ඉගෙන ගන්නා પરම්පරාවක හිටියත් ඒ අය පව්කම් කරනවා නම් අකුසල ධම්ම කරනවා නම් ඒ අයට ගේ උත්පත්තිය බ්‍රහ්ම ලෝකේ එහෙම නැත්නම් සුඛිත මුදිත වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියන එක. හොඳ තැන්වල උත්පත්තිය ලබන්නේ නැහැ කියන එක. සීගිරි කාශ්‍යප නොත් පළවෙනි කාශ්‍යපට සහෝදරයෙක් ඉන්නවා මුගලන්. තමන්ගේ තාත්තා තමන්ගේ රාජධානිය තමන්ගේ ඇවෑමෙන් පස්සේ මුගලන් කුමාරයාට පවරන දායාද වශයෙන්. මේ පැවරුවට පස්සේ සීගිරි කාශ්‍යප මේ පිළිබඳව තරහ වෙලා උරණ වෙලා අකමැත්ත ප්‍රකාශ කරලා සීගිරි කාශ්‍යප ගිහිල්ලා අහනවා තාත්තගෙන් අයියට දුන්න නම් දායාද එය මටත් අවශ්‍යයි කියලා. ඒ අනුව රජුරෝ දුරදිග කල්පනා කරලා තමන්ගේ පුතා වෙච්ච සී කාශ්‍යපව කලාවැවට එක ගිහිල්ලා කලාවැවේ වතුර අරගෙන පෙන්නනවා මේ තමයි ඔයාලගේ දායාදේ එහෙම නැත්නම් ඔයාලගේ අනාගත ආයෝජන කියලා. වතුර පෙන්නනවා. මේ පිළිබඳව උරණ වෙච්ච තරහ වෙච්ච අමනාප වෙච්ච කාශ්‍යප මහලු පියා වැව් බැම්මට තියලා මැටි ගහනවා. මේ අවස්ථාවේදී සීගිරි කාශ්‍යපගේ වදයට බන්ධනයට ලක් වෙච්ච ධාතුසේන රජුරෝ මරණයටපත් වෙනවා. මේ මරණයටපත් වුණාට පස්සේ පියා මැරීමේ අකුසලය පාප කර්මය ආනන්තරීය පාප කර්මයක්. ඒක මේ භවයේ හෝ භව ගණනාවක් ගෙවලවත් විඳවලා අකුසල කර්මය ඒකෙන් බේරෙන්න අපහසුයි කියන එකයි ආනන්තරීය පාප කර්මය කියන එකේ අදහස. මොහු මුගලන් රජුරවන්ට තාත්තා මැරීමේ පාප කර්මයෙන් ඇතිවෙච්ච චිත්ත සංතාපය සහ පාප කර්මයෙන් ගැලවීම සඳහා මොහු පලා යනවා සීගිරියට. සීගිරිය නොහොත් සීගිරිය කියන කඳු මුදුනට. මේ අවස්ථාවේදී මේ රාජධානියක් ගොඩනගාගෙන ඉන්න සීගිරි කාශ්‍යප ටික කාලයක් සාමාන්‍ය පරිදි ජීවත් වෙනවා. නමුත් මේ වෙනකොට තමන්ගේ සහෝදරය වෙන මුගලන් රජුරෝ ඉන්දියාවට ගිහිල්ලා ඉන්දියාවෙන් සේනාවක් සංවිධානය කරගෙන ඇවිල්ලා දෙදෙනා අතර ඇතිවන ද්වන්ද්ව සටනක් දෙන්නා අතර ඇතිවෙන සටනක් සීගිරිය ප්‍රදේශයේදී ඇති වෙනවා. එහිදී සීගිරි කාශ්‍යපගේ සේනාවත් ඒ වගේම මුගලන් රජුරුවන්ගේ සේනාවත් එකිනෙකාට හමු වන අවස්ථාව ආසන්නයේදී සීගිරි කාශ්‍යපගේ ඇතා යුද්ධයට ගියපු ඇතා ගියපු මාර්ගයේ පැවතිච්ච වතුර සහිත මඩ සහිත කුඩා ජල කඩਿੱත්තකට ඇතා ඒ ජලයට බහින්න නැතුව ඒ අන මාර්ගයේ වෙන මාර්ගයක යන්න ඇතා හැරුණා. මේ හැරීමේදී පස්සෙන් ආපු තමන්ගේ සේනාව කල්පනා කළා සීගිරි කාශ්‍යප යුද්ධයට බයයි පලා යනවා කියලා. පස්සෙන් ආපු සියලුම සේනාව හිස් ලූලු අත තමන්ගේ හිස හැරිච්ච අතට දුවන්න ගත්තා. මේ නිසා අසරණ වෙච්ච සීගිරි කාශ්‍යප තමන්ගේ අසිපතින් තමන්ගේ කඩුවෙන් තමන්ම සියදිවි නානි කරගත්තා. තමන්ගේ පියා මැටි ගහලා මැරීමේ ආදීනවය අකුසල කර්මයේ බලය තමන්ගේ අතින්ම තමාම ගෙල සිඳ ගන්න තත්වයට පත් වුණා. අකුසල කර්මයේ විපාකය එහෙමයි. කුමන රජකම් කරත් උගත් උනත් ඒ වගේම බලපුලුවන්කාරකම් තියාගෙන හිටියත් අකුසල කර්මය සිද්ධ කරපු බලවත් අකුසල කර්ම අපේ සාංශාරික ජීවිතයේ මෙලොවදීම ditta dhamma වේදනීය වශයෙන් මෙලොවදීම විපාක ලබා දෙනවා. ඒ වගේම අපේ උපදින දෙවන ආත්ම භාවයේදී අපිට මේ විපාකය ලබා දෙනවා. ඒ වගේම විපාකයේ කවදා හෝ අපේ සාංශාරික ජීවිතයේදී අපිට විපාකය ලබා දෙනවා. ditta dhamma වේදනීය උපපජ්ජ වේදනීය අපරාපරිය වේදනීය වශයෙන් සහ අහෝසි කර්ම වශයෙන් අපිට මේ විපාකය ලබා දෙනවා. ඒ අනුව අපිට පේනවා අකුසලයක් යම් බලවත් අකුසල කර්මයක් සිද්ධ කළාම මේ අකුසල කර්ම අප පසුපස පැමිණීමට බලය ඒ වගේම ජාතිය උත්පත්තිය ලබන කුලය හෝ වෙනත් කිසිදු සාධකයක් ඒට යටත් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ වගේම අපිට වෙන විදිහේ බලපුලුවන්කාරකම් ඒ වගේම අපිට වෙන විදිහේ තැන්වල සංගවීමෙන් ඒ වගේම අපි වෙන විදිහේ කල්දමා ගැනීමේ ක්‍රමයක් අපට නෑ. අප යම්ම කිසි අකුසල කර්මයක් සිද්ධ කරලා බලවත් අකුසල කර්මයක් සිද්ධ කරලා තියෙනවා නම් ඒවයි විපාක ලැබෙනවා. තවත් අපේ එක් ගාථාවක් සඳහන් කරලා මගේ ධර්ම දේශනාව මෙතනින් හමාර කරනවා. මේ ගාථාව අන්තර්ගත වෙන්නේ ධම්මපදයේ. ධම්මපදයේ සඳහන් වෙනවා ගබ්බ මේකේ උප්පජ්ජಂತಿ නිරයං පාප කම්මිනෝ සග්ගං සුගති නෝ යන්ති පරිනිබ්බන්ති අනාසවා. මේ රහතන් වහන්සේ නමක් පිළිබඳව සහ ගෙදරක සාමාන්‍ය ගෙදරක ඇතිවෙච්ච කතා පුවතක් ධම්මපදට්ට කතාවේ අන්තර්ගත වෙලා තිබෙනවා. ගබ්බ මේකේ උප්පජ්ජಂತಿ මේ ලෝකේ උපදින පුද්ගලයෝ මිනිස්සු ගබ්බ මේකේ ගබ්බ මව් කුසට පැමිණෙනවා. ගබ්බ මේකේ උප්පජ්ජಂತಿ මව් කුසට පැමිණෙනවා. නිරයම් පාප කම්මිනෝ කෙනෙක් නිරයගාමී වෙනවා. අපායගාමී වෙනවා. සග්ගං සුගතිනෝ යන්ති තව කෙනෙක් හොඳ ආත්ම භාවවල දිව්‍යමය ආත්ම භාව ලබා ගන්නෝ. තව කෙනෙක් පරිනිබ්බන්ති අනාසවා පරිනිර්වාණයටපත් වෙනවා. උපදින සෑම සත්‍යයකටම අත්වන ඉරණම මරණය. නමුත් අපි විසින් කරන ලද කුසල කුසල කර්ම බලවේග අනුව අපේ උපදින ස්ථාන තීරණය වෙනවා. මේ බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ මෙම ගාථාව දේශනා කරන්නේ මණිකාර කුලූපග තිස්ස කියන හාමුදුරුව අරබයා. මණිකාර කුලූපග තිස්ස. මණි කියලා කියන්නේ මැණික්. මැණික් හදන මැණිකාර කුලූපග මිත්‍ර තිස්ස හාමුදුරුවෝ. මේ හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේ නිරන්තරයෙන් රහතන් වහන්සේ මේ නිවසට වඩිනෝ මේ මණිකාර කුලූපග තිස්ස කියන හාමුදුරුවෝ. මේ හාමුදුරුවෝ වඩින වාරයක් පාසා ඒ ගෙදර උපාසක අම්මා මෑණියෝ ගෙදර ගෘහ මූලිකාව ඒ හාමුදුරුවන්ට ගිලම්පස ආදී දාණය ඒ වගේම සිව්පසයෙන් අපෝපස්ථාන කරනවා. එක දවසක් මේ ස්වාමීන්ද්‍රයන් වහන්සේ මේ නිවසට වැඩියහම මැණික්ක් රජගෙදරින් ගෙනහල්ලා තිබ්බා සකස් කරන්න උපදමන්න. මෙය දුටු මෙය බාර ගැනීමට පැමිණි මේ ගෙදර ඉන්න ස්වාමියා තමන් යම්ම කිසි ව්‍යංජනයක් මස් ව්‍යංජනයක් සකස් කරමින් හිටියා. ඒ ව්‍යංජනය සකස් කරන ගමම්ම ඇවිල්ලා අර මැණික අල්ලලා මේස උඩ තියලා තමයි ගියේ. මේකේ තැවරුණු ලේ නිසා ගෙදර හිටපු කුරුල්ලා ඇවිල්ලා මේ මැණික ගිලිනවා. මේ தත්ත්වය මේ ගිලිලට පස්සේ නැවත වතාවක් මේ කුළු මස් මේ ගෙදර ඉන්න මැණික් සාධන පුද්ගලයා ඇවිල්ලා මැණික හොයන අවස්ථාවේදී මැණික දැක ගන්න ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ නිසා මේ පුද්ගලයා මේ හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේ රහතන් වහන්සේව සැක කරලා මේ හාමුදුරන්ගෙන් දෙසරයක් ඒ වගේම තුන් සැරයක් හතර සැරයක් අහලා උන්වහන්සේ නැත මේ උන්වහන්සේ ඒ මැණික නොගත්ත බව සඳහන් කිරීමෙන් කුපිත භාවයටපත් වෙලා උන්වහන්සේට වද දීලා ලණුවක් බෙල්ලට දාලා දෙපැත්තට ඇදලා උන්වහන්සේට වද දීලා උන්වහන්සේගෙන් අහන අවස්ථාවේදී උන්වහන්සේ අපවත් වෙනවා. ඒ අපවත් වීම නිසා ඒ පුද්ගලයාට සිද්ධ වෙන අකුසල කර්මය අනුව එතුමා ඒ ගෙදර හිටපු ඒ පුද්ගලයා අපායගාමී තත්ත්වයටපත් වෙනවා. ඒ ගෙදර ඉන්නෝ කීප ගෙවිලිය ඒ වගේම මේ මැණික් හදන පුද්ගලයා සහ ගෙදර ඇති කරන කුරුල්ලා. මේ තුන් දෙනෙක් පිළිබඳව මේ කතාවේ තුන් දෙනයි හාමුදුරුවෝ හතර දෙනයි. ඒ හතර දෙනා මනුෂ්‍ය ලෝකයේ ඉපදුනාට මේ වෙච්ච සිදුවීම මැණික ගෙදරට ගෙනාවා. ඒ මැණික කුරුල්ලා විසින් ගිල්ලා ඒක සොයා ගන්න ගිහිල්ලා හාමුදුරුවෝ පවත් වෙනවා. මේ தত্ত্বය බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ දැනගත්තාම උන්වහන්සේ දිවසින් අවබෝධ කරගන්නෝ මේ හතර දෙනා හතර තැනක අවස්ථා හතරකටපත් වෙනවා. කෙනෙක් මරුණාම අවස්ථා හතරකටපත් වෙනවා. අපි මේ ලෝකේ කරන ලද කුසල සහ අකුසල කර්ම අනුව. ඒ අනුව මේ මණිකාර කියන පුද්ගලයා මණිකාර හදන මැණික් හදන පුද්ගලයා අපායගාමී වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම මේ ගෙදර ඉන්න උපාසක අම්මා දේව ලෝකයේ උත්පත්ති ලැබනෝ කරන ලද පින තමයි රහතන් වහන්සේ නමකට සංඝ රත්නයට සිව්පසයෙන් අපෝපස්ථාන කිරීම. ඒ වගේම මේ ගෙදර ඉන්න කුරුල්ලා මරණින් මතු මව් කුසට එම නැත්නම් මනුෂ්‍යාත්ම භාවයක් ලබා ගන්නෝ. ඒ වගේම මේ කුලූපග හාමුදුරුවෝ මණිකාර කුලූපග තිස්ස තමයි නම. තිස්ස හාමුදුරුවෝ පරිනිබ්බන්ති අනාසවා පිරිනිවීමටපත් වෙනවා. හරියට පහනක් නිවී ගියාට පස්සේ කොහෙන් ඒ පහන නිවුනද කියන එක පිළිබඳව සොයන්න බෑ වගේ ඒ එතනින් ඒ ආත්ම භාවය නැවත ප්‍රතිසන්දියක් නැති නිසා නිවී යනවා. ඒ අනුව අපට පේනවා මේ කුසල අකුසල කර්ම බලවේගය අපට ඇතිවීම සඳහා ජාතිය හෝ බලය හෝ මුදල් හෝ රට හෝ වෙන හෝ කිසියම්ම දෙයක් බලපාන්නේ නැහැ. අප විසින් කරන ලද කුසල හෝ අකුසල කර්මවල බලවේගයේ මත ඒ කාරණය සිද්ධ වන බව මෙම ගාථාවට අනුව පැහැදිලි කළ හැකි බව මේ අවස්ථාවේ සිහිපත් කරන්න පුළුවන්කම තිබෙනවා. ඒ නිසා අප නිරන්තරයෙන් සබ්බ පාපස්සා කරණං සියලු අකුසල කර්මයන්ගෙන් ඈත්ව කුසලස්ස උපසම්පදා සෑම විටම ලැබෙන හැම මොහොතකම කුසල දහම් පින් දහම් වැඩි දියුණු කරගෙන තමන්ගේ ආධ්‍යාත්මික ජීවිත සාර්ථක කරගෙන මෙලොව පරලොව දෙගතිය අවසන උතුම් නිවන් සිරි සම්පත් ලබා ගන්නට අප සියලු දිනාටම අදිෂ්ඨාන පූර්වක හැකියාව ශක්තිය ධෛර්යය උදා වේවා කියලා කවුරු සාදු කියලා ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරමු.
සාදු සාදු සාදු. ඒ උතුම් ධර්මානුශාසනාව පවත්වමින් අද දිනේට නියමිත වසල සූත්‍රය ආශ්‍රිත ගාථා ධර්මය විග්‍රහ කරමින් සිංහල ධර්මානුශාසනාව පවත්වනු ලැබුවේ අතිගෞරවනීය දාම්මල පියනන්ද පඬිතුමන් වහන්සේ. අප කෙරෙහි අනුකම්පාවෙන් ඒ උතුම් ධර්මානුශාසනාව පැවැත්වීම තුළින් රැස් කරගත් කුසල ශක්තිය උන්වහන්සේගේ ජීවිතය නිදුක් නිරෝගී භාවයටත් සියලු බලාපොරොත්තු ප්‍රාර්ථනා මුදුන්පත් කර ගැනීමටත් ආශිර්වාදයක් වේවා කියන ප්‍රාර්ථනාව ඇති කරගෙන අපි ආශිර්වාද කරමින් අද දවසේ නියමිත සිංහල ධර්මානුශාසනාව අවසන් කරනු ලබනවා. දැන් ටික වෙලාවක් අපි හැම දිනාටම සෙත් ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරමින් සෙත් පිරිත් දේශනාව සිද්ධ කරමු. Now we are moving into our chanting of blessings, particularly to wishing everyone all the progress, happiness, good health in all way, all around. We are going to make a few minutes of chanting of protection blessings. So please do join few minutes of chanting blessings. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Evaṁ me sutaṁ ekam samayang bhagava savattiyaṁ viharati jetavane anatha pindikassa arame atako bhagava ubbanna samayang nivasetva patta jivara madaya savattiyaṁ pindaya pavisi tena kopana samayena aggika bharadvajassa brahmanassa nivesane aggi pajjalato hoti ahuti paggaitatako bhagava savattiyaṁ sapadanam pindaya charamano yena aggika bharadvajassa brahmanassa nivesanam tenupasankami addasako aggika bharadvajo brahmano bhagavantam duratova agacchantang disvana bhagavantam etadavoca tatreva mundaka tatreva samanaka tatreva vasalaka tittayiti evaṁ utte bhagava aggika bharadvajam brahmanam etadavoca janasi panatvam brahmana vasalam va vasalakarani vadam meti nakvaṁ bhogotama janami vasalam va vasalakarani vadam me sadhu me bhavam gotamo tata dhammam desetu yataṁ janeyam vasalam va vasalakarani vadam meti tena hi brahmana sunai sadhukam manasi karohi bhasissa ගච්ඡාමි තීවං ඕතිකෝ අග්ගික භාරද්වාජෝ බ්‍රහ්මනෝ භගවතෝ පච්චස්සෝසි භගවා ඒතදවෝච
ඕදනෝපනාහිච පාපවංකීච
යෝ නරෝ විප්පන්න දිට්ඨි මායාවී තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති ඒකජං වා ද්විජං වාපි යෝදපානානි
සති
තස්ස පානේ දයානත්ති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ අන්ති පරිරුන්දති ගාමානි නිගමානිච නිග්ගාහකෝ සමඤ්ඤාතෝ තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති ගාමේ වායති වාරඤ්ඤේ යං පරේසං මමාහිතං තේයාදින්නං ආදියති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ හවේින මාදාය චුජ්ජමානෝ පලායති නහිතේින මත්තිති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ චික්ක කම්යතා පන්තස්මින් වජතං ජනං හන්त्वा කිංචික්ක මාදේති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ අත්ථ හේතු පර හේතු ධන හේතු ච යෝ නරෝ සක්ඛි පුට්ඨෝ මුසාබ්‍රෝති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ ඥාතිනං සකානං වාදාරේසු පතිදිස්සති සහසා සම්පියේන වා තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ මාත රං වා පිතරං වා ජින්නකං ගත යොබ්බනං පෞසන්තෝන භරති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ මාතරං වා පිතරං වා වාතරං භගිනිං සසුං අන්තිරෝසේති වාචාය තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ අත්තං පුච්චිතෝ සන්තෝ අනත්ත මනුසාසති පටිච්චන්නේන මන්තේති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ ගත්වා පාපකං කම්මං මාමං ජඤ්ඤාති ඉච්ඡති යෝ පටිච්චන්න කම්මන්තෝ තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ වේ පරකුලං ගන්්වා බුත්වාන සුචි භෝජනං ආගතන්න පටිපූජේති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ බ්‍රාහ්මනං වා සමනං වා අඤ්ඤං වාපි වනිබ්බකං මුසාවාදේන වංචේති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ බ්‍රාහ්මනං වා සමනං වා බත්ත කාලේ උපට්ඨිතේ රෝසේති වාචානච දේති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති අසතං යෝද පබ්‍රෝති මෝහේන පලිගුණ්ඨිතෝ කිච්චික්ඛං නිජිගිස්සාරෝ තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ චත්තානං සමුක්ඛංසේ පරංච මවජානති නීනෝ සේන මානේන තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝසකෝ කදරියෝ ච පාපිච්චෝ මච්චරී සටෝ අහිරිකෝ අනොත්තප්පි තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ වේ බුද්ධං පරිභාසති අතවා තස්ස ශාවකං පරිභාජං ගාට්ඨං වා තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ වේ අනරහා සන්තෝ අරහං පටිජානති චෝරෝ සබ්‍රක්මකේ ලෝකේ ඒසකෝ වසලා තමෝ ඒතේ කෝ වසලා උත්තා මයා වෝ යේ පකාසිතාන ජජ්ජා වසලෝ හෝති න ජජ්ජා හෝති බ්‍රාහ්මනෝ කම්මනා වසලෝ හෝති කම්මනා හෝති බ්‍රාහ්මනෝ තදමිනාපි විජානාත යතා මේදං නිදස්සනං චණ්ඩාල පුත්තෝ සෝපාකෝ මාතංගෝ ඉති විස්සුතෝ soya paramang patto
Matango yang sudulabang aganyum tassu pattanang kattiya brahmana pauso deva
Yana maruyya virajang so
mahapatang kameragang virajitva brahmalokupago avunanang
jati nivaresi
brahmalokupapattiya ajjayaka kule jata brahmana mantabanduno
teca papesu
kammesu abhinna mupadissare
ditteva dhamme garaya samparayeta duggating nati jati nivareti
duggacca garaya vana jajja vasalo hoti na jajja hoti brahmano kammana vasalo
hoti kammana
hoti brahmano
Evam
buddhe aggika bharadvajo brahmano bhagavantang
etadavoca
kantang bhogotama abhikkantang bhogotama seyatapi bhogotama nikujjitang
va kunjaya
paticcannang va vivareyya mullassava maggang
andhakare va
tela pajjo tandhareyya cakkumanto rupani dakkinti evamevang gota
gotamena aneka
pariyayena dhammo pakasito esahang bhagavantang gotamang
saranang gacchami
dhammang ca bhikkhu sanghang ca upasakang mang bhavang gotamo dharetu ajjatakke
panupetan saranang gatanti etena sacca vajjena sottite hotu sabbada etena sacca vajjena sambharogo vinassatu etena
sacca vajjena
hotu bejaya mangalang yandun nimittang avamangalang cayo manapo sakunassa saddho papaggaho dussupinang akantang buddhanubhavena vinasamento yandun nimittang avamangalang cayo manapo sakunassa saddho papaggaho dussupinang akantang dhammanubhavena vinasamento yandun
nimittang avamanggalang cayo manapo sakunassa saddho
papaggaho dussupinan
akantang sanghanubhavena vinasamento dukkhapatta janidukkha bhayapatta janibbhaya
sokapatta janisoka hontu sabbe pipanino sabbe buddha
patta paccekanang yang balang arahang tanang tejena rakkang bandami sabbaso
sabbe buddha
patta paccekanang yang balang arahang tanang tejena rakkang bandami sabbaso
sabbe buddha patta paccekanang
yang balang arahang tanang tejena rakkang
bandami sabbaso devo vassatu kalena sassa sampatti
hotu ca pito bhavatu loko ca raja bhavatu dhammiko.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now we are moving into our English Dhamma sermon. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, supremely enlightened Lord Buddha. nanang jati nivareti Brahmalokupapattiya Anjayaka kule jata Brahmana matta bandhunoti. Today, our title of the Dhamma talk, based on the 25th Gatha verse of the discourse delivered by the Buddha, called Aggika Bharadwaja Sutta or Vasala Sutta, the discourse on outcast. During the time of the Buddha, he was lived in India. The society was very clearly divided into different caste systems, and they were treated differently. Those who were born into lower realms, lower castes, they were not even allowed to participate in the spiritual practices. After 2600 years later, society has changed, developed, but there are little differences still remains, because it is the human nature to develop some discriminations against each other. But at a very hard time of such discriminations, Buddha stood against and explained universally, factually, reasonably, that is not something compatible or realistic. Well before this even legislation called equality and diversity, Buddha tried to introduce that all beings are in equal potentials to develop, to cultivate, no matter what social circumstances, social levels, family they were born into. Because of this very strong social ideals of caste system by that time, even Buddha himself were humiliated, but he did not take them as personal. He tried to explain very calmly the meaning, thereby he managed to change the way people think, and it helps them. The reason, you might have some pride or ego, conceit or mana in your big head, thinking that you are from such and such a family. As a result, if you discriminate, humiliate, it is a very strong negative karma. Person may not know it. As a result, the person can be born into a lower realm and suffer a lot. Because every action has a reaction. Condemning or letting down some other people because of the family or the social status, in addition to morally and ethically wrong, and spiritually, it is something very serious. Buddha had special knowledges. At the last hour of the enlightenment, when he was attaining the enlightenment, he had special 3 knowledges. One is called Pubbe Nivasanussati Jnana, he can recall the previous lives, how it was really happened. The other knowledge he had, special super abhinya we call, that he had the ability to hear in distance how those communications in the world taking place. That is called cosmology. All these things are scriptured. Even the modern science can't really contradict with those evidence being explained. They are not like just literature. The third knowledge is asavakkaya jnana, which means when someone purify the mind, eliminate the defilements, how that person can escape from this birth and death cycle. Those are the three special knowledges Buddha had. Through that, he realized how the beings are being traveling in the cycle of birth and death circle called samsara. Samsara is a cycle that beings are repeatedly born, die, and reborn. There, he realized this happens because of the karma, results of the actions. Therefore, he very revolutionary stood against those social ideals. They believe that people become higher or low according to the family they were born. Buddha lived as a Buddha, he lived 45 years. He became the Buddha at the age of 35. He passed away at the age of 80. During that 45 years, he spent a lot of effort by teaching, delivering, sharing the teachings. And he happened to meet a lot of difficulties because of these social problems. Even though he was born into a higher class, royal family, he was prince himself, but still there were some other people, those by that time those religious people were regarded as the higher class, that they are the people called Brahma. So they thought that they are the highest in spiritual society. Everybody has to respect. If someone wanted to become a member of that spiritual practice, they got to be born into that. There is no other way to become priest. That was a social acceptance by that time. So during this time, Buddha one day going for an alms round. When he was going by an alms round collection of his food, he do not miss certain families, certain houses, and visit by his choice. He normally follow the order, give everyone equal opportunity. When he entered into this particular house, that house was abide by a Brahmin family, a religious person, so-called higher class, and he was about to practice his spiritual thing. By seeing the Buddha outside for alms, begging, he was very upset because he was just about to practice the religious thing. Then he started shouting, to the Buddha as an outcast, low caste person by being very angry. Buddha very quietly asked, do you know the meaning of the anger, outcast? He said he doesn't know. Then Buddha asked him, would you like to know? He said, I really like to know. Then Buddha delivered this discourse. We have been discussing wonderful facts, but Buddha explained to that Brahmin, that householder, what are the characteristics of a person to be a low caste. And he was bringing those facts to prove that it is not by birth a person become low or high. It is by action. In this stanza, he gives an example how someone born into a higher realm born into a lower realm, but by actions, that person born into a higher spiritual realm. That was the positive side of it. That means even the person was born into a lower realm, but because of practicing so sincerely, honestly, the spiritual practices, meditations, the person was able to gain the higher spiritual existence. What is the highest? You know that when someone dies, we think they were gone to heaven, which is true. It is not. If somebody asks where have they gone, they were gone to heaven, we say. Buddhism also believes that. Buddhism believes a little bit beyond that as well. Buddhism believes a person can be born in 31 existence. Heavens are only 6 out of those 31 existence. So when somebody says after the death someone goes to heaven, that according to Buddhism is limited. Because in this whole universe, there are uncountable galaxies, Milky Ways, Buddha said. Science has, I think, discovered about 126 or something galaxies. And they still believe there are more than that. Buddha said that galaxies are uncountable, but in this universe, we are talking one of those, and out of uncountable, there are 31 existence a person can be born into. Out of those 31, when we say they are gone to heaven, we are only referring to 6 such planes, 6 such existence. Those people, the people are being on to those 31 existence, like ourselves, we can be born into any of those existence out of 31, but that is wholly, purely based on our actions. What are the actions? Verbal actions, physical actions, mental actions. We explain a little bit later about those 3 types of actions. We call, there are 10 wholesome actions, Dasa Kusal. Those who have done 10 wholesome actions will go into the 6 heavenly realms. Definitely. There are 10 unwholesome actions, Dasa Akusal. They will be gone into lower 4 realms. We call purgatory. Such sort of miserable existence. There are 4 such miserable existence. Those who have gained higher meditation practices like some jhanas, there are 4 types of deep absorptions, jhanas. They will be born into 20 Brahma levels, sublime levels. They are even far beyond the divine level heaven. They are beyond the heaven. They are called sublime existence. They are being born into sublime heaven because of the deep meditation practice through which they have developed higher level of mind. In these 20, out of these sublime existence called Brahma world, there are 20. 16 Brahma worlds are still leading into samsara. That means they have not really practiced the right meditation, right concentration, and gained the right jhana, right absorptions, but they have gained different kind of absorptions, jhanas. As a result, they were being born into 16 out of 20, 16 Brahma world. They have a higher chance to go down from there and come back to any of those existence of the 31. There are 4 sublime existence called Brahma world. They have definitely done the right jhanas. So they have entered into the non-returner anagami, and they were born into that. One of them called Sahampati Mahabrahma. Sahampati Mahabrahma is the one who came to the Buddha and invite to preach the Dhamma. So the Buddha preached the Dhamma with the invitation of that. He was an anagami non-returner born into the last 4 higher realms. Now, the first one of the 31 existent, first one is called, we call hell. Those who are born into hell, those who done the most heinous, the serious 4 bad karmas. That is, we call Anand Papa karma. There are 4 serious bad karmas. Killing mother, killing father, shedding the blood of the Buddha, and disputing the community, dividing the community or spiritual community. And those are 4 great, very dangerous karmas. If one do that, they will go into this purgatory called Niraya, and the lifespan is uncountable. You can't really measure it. That is the first one. The 31, the highest one, those who have gained the 4th, 5th, 6th jhanas, they would go into the 31 existence, which is the highest existence. The first one, purgatory, we call Niraya. The second one is called Asura. Asura means jealous beings. They are kind of demons. What is the cause? Unwholesome actions. Next one, hungry ghost. We call Pretaloka. The cause being born into that unwholesome actions, also lack of virtue. They haven't really cultivated the virtues. As a result, you will be born into those lower realms. And the next one, which we can obviously see, animal realms. The reason, even animal realms, those have different lifespans. Even the animal realms, the lifespan is different. Some animal has the longest life, like tortoise. They live over 100 years. I think more than that. The longest lifespan has the tortoise. Whereas some other animals, they very short lived. Maybe some animals only 20 years, only 5 years, things like that. That is a realm. That's a plane existence out of 31. The next one, those 4, what I mentioned, purgatory, demon called jealous being, hungry ghost, and animals, those are called 4 lower realms. The 5th one is called human realm, the VR. We called it happy destinations, Sugati Loka. That means we have a mind, we have a rationality, we can think, we can identify good and bad, we have a brain. A person to be born into the human existence is, as according to Buddhist teachings, completely rare. It requires a lot of merits, has to be cultivated, a lot of virtue, wisdom, and so many things. However, if a person being born into such existence, if the person does not practice, even though that person was born into a spiritual family, that person can go down. Like, you know, one of the contemporary of the Buddha, he was the cousin. He wanted to compete with the Buddha to become into his position. Because of jealous, he tried to kill even the Buddha. By doing that unwholesome actions, he was born into the lower realm. After the death, he went into the miserable existence, unhappy realms. So likewise, even though he was born into a king's family, he was born in the same family of the Buddha, but because of the actions, person can go into lower realm. Whereas some animals, you may have heard, when the Buddha was in the jungle for 3 months, there was an elephant who looked after the Buddha by bringing the fruit, by bringing the water. He was attending to the Buddha. When the Buddha was leaving the jungle, his heart was broken because of the sadness, and he died. And it says he was born in the heavenly realm because by doing good actions, he was able to gain higher existence. This human existence is very interesting. The lifespan of the human existence is called kind of 120 or 80 to date. It can be varied again. So sometimes before born or even just after born, someone is varied, but average lifespan of a human being is about 120 or 80. Then next existence is called 6 divine heavenly realms. Those are the things we normally call, or they have gone to heaven. Those are the 6 in this cosmology, in the Buddhist teachings. There are devas of 4 great kings. We call Chatur Maharajika. Lifespan is 9 million years. Those are not just myths. Those are being explained in those scriptures very well. You can research on that. Then the next one is called 33 gods. That means Tavasinsa. 36 million years. One of this time is relative. Our 1 hour is completely different to their 1 hour. According to the scriptures, the human years of 100 years, 1 day into their divine realm. So you can think of such age, 36 million years of Tavatimsa called 33 gods. Even these 33 gods, they have a group of 33 friends. And they were doing a lot of good activities, making the roads, helping the needy, establishing people in good practices. But some group of people were jealous on it and said to the king wrong things about these people. With the support of the king, they normally said to the king, these people are going to popular and try to take over the kingdom. Therefore, you need to be careful. So the king believed those bad people and tried to harm those 33 people. So they were sent a lot of punishments because of they were believing they are good. It became an asseveration we call Satyakriya, and those 33 people were not being able to harm. So those 33 people, by practicing 5 precepts, morality, were born into this existence called Tavatimsa. 33 gods. So there are lots of stories like that to explain, and there are some other divine existence, heavenly existence, Yamadeva, Tusita Deva means contented devas. Tusita is the existence where our Lord Buddha in the last life, last birth, before he become into this existence, he came from Tusita heaven, that heavenly realm. And then Paranimita Vasavati Devas, and those are the divine existence, 6 divine existence. And then it goes into the Rupaloka. Those are the previous ones are called Kamaloka. Those are called sensual world. Rupaloka is the kind of Brahmaloka. There are 2 types of Brahmalokas. One is called Arupa Brahmaloka. That means no body, only the mind they have. Such existence, there are 4 existence, 4 Brahmalokas like that. Rupaloka, which has the body and the mind, there are 16 Brahmalokas that person can be born into. And those 16 and plus the other 4 of the Brahmalokas, people were born because of their jhanas. They have developed, purified the mind to the highest level. Rupaloka, there are 16. They have not really developed the right jhanas. Therefore, they are still in the samsara. But the last 4, they have developed the right jhanas. Therefore, they were called Suddhavasa. Suddhavasa means pure abodes. And they are definitely attained the 3rd attainment called Anagami, non-return status. Therefore, they would not come back into samsara. They will pass into the Nibbana, the final liberation from there. So this is a bit of an outline about how this birth and death cycle, where we can be born into. It does not decided by the birth of the family you are born into. Like if you are born into a doctor's family, if you do not work hard and study, you would not become a higher profession. If you waste your money and energy and time, you will be working as a normal labor person. So that is what Buddha wanted to say. By that time, because of the people said that unless you are born into such a spiritual family, you would not be a priest. And therefore, you would not be able to go into a higher realm. Buddha was saying, no, that is not true. I have seen through my knowledge how the universe works. Anybody can see this when they develop their mind. How people are being born. That is being born according to the actions and consequences. They are called Dasa Kusal. Dasa Kusal means 10 wholesome actions. What are those 10 wholesome actions? They are bodily actions, verbal actions, mental actions. What are the bodily actions? Abstaining from killing, hurting, destroying any living beings. That is very powerful, wholesome action. If you throughout your life has not taken a life, That is one of the higher merit. The opposite of it, called akusal, unwholesome, if someone has taken a life, as a result, you get a consequence. Another story, at the time of the Buddha, there was a Brahmin. Brahmin being another spiritual practitioner. The way they practice the spirituality, they kill animals and offer the blood of that animal. One day, this priest was about to offer that to the god. And he asked to bring an animal. It was a sheep. And to offer to the god. The way they offer the god, they kill and offer the blood of that animal. So this spiritual person said, today is a special day, therefore we can't really offer something not clean. Please take this sheep and give it a good wash and bring it back. This animal was taken into the river to give a good wash because it's going to offer to the god. You know, the ways those are being explained, the animal start dancing, jumping, very happy. There are ways to communicate with those animals. After a while, the animal started crying. The person who brought the animal to wash, give a good wash, very confused. Asked the animal, once you were very happy and all of a sudden you start crying. Those are two different things. Why you did that? This animal said, 500 lifetimes ago, I was like the priest. I killed an animal as an offering to the god. As a result, I was born in the animal realm and got killed. Got killed as a consequence of that. This is my last one. After this, I am free. I have paid off that bad karma. That is why I was dancing. I was happy. Then the person asked, why you were crying then? This animal said, the priest who is going to do this, I felt pity on him, sad on him, because he is going to take the same consequences by doing this bad karma. So this priest heard this, and the priest was very intelligent. Priest said, I am not going to take that. I am not going to take that. I would not kill you. And as a result, as you said, I will be having the same consequences. Therefore, I am going to send you to a place that you will get no harm at all. And I will feed you. I will take care of you. Unfortunately, few days later, there was a big storm. Because of a thunder, a split of a stone came out and hit on the animal, and animal died. That was the story. So that animal's lifespan is very short. That can end very short. As a result, that lifespan was gone, finished. The animal were able to go into a good realm. Because the priest understood the consequences and the art of this existence, priests were also able to escape from the bad, miserable results in this very journey. In another occasion, one boy came to the Buddha and said, I belong to a different religious practice. I wanted to support my father while he was dying. But the day he was dying, I was not there. I was far away. I couldn't come even for the funeral. In our tradition, we have a thing called, normally we release the soul of the person when the cremation or something took place. so that person can go free. For that, when they were kind of cremated, they open up a head or somewhere and let the soul to be free, fly away. Then this gentleman, young person, said to the Buddha, I couldn't do that. Therefore, I feel very sad because I have not done my duty. As a result, he or that person might have in trouble. Buddha know this subject very well. Buddha was very therapeutic person. Buddha said, let's do a ritual to make this correct. Buddha asked him to bring a clay pot of ghee and asked all the family and friends to come. They were all brought into a lake, and Buddha said, now take this pot of ghee. While you are dropping this onto the lake, you need to break it. That is the ritual to get done what you couldn't done. So this person very happily did that ritual. While he was dropping the pot of ghee to the lake, he broke the pot and it was fallen onto the lake. Now the pieces of the clay pot sank very deeply to the bottom of the lake, whereas the ghee was floating. Now Buddha said, to you and to all your family, need to pray hard, saying that, please, these clay pieces of the clay pot come up. Please come up. That is the prayer. So you need to make a big prayer to get that pieces of clay pot to come up to the water. And pray hard to this ghee to go down and sink to the bottom of the lake. Buddha said, of course, this will not happen. Similarly, those who have done bad karma, they would have result accordingly. Those who have good karma, they would have the results accordingly. Therefore, Buddha said, when someone passed away, even though we couldn't fulfill certain rituals, what matters is what we have been doing while we are alive. Being grateful, fulfilling our duties, not letting them down, upset, those are called wholesome actions. And that is what makes a sense when someone is no longer here. And that is what can be transferred, like listening to this teaching, attending to this spiritual activity throughout this nearly 2 hours. Nobody had anger, nobody had jealous, nobody had envy, nobody had conceit or mana or big ego. Those are unwholesome. Those unwholesome defilements we call create an existence. When you have the loving kindness, compassion, generosity, sort of wholesome actions create a good existence. So the Buddha in this Gatha explained to this gentleman who complained him as outcast, low caste, said, even though one lives or born into a low class, low level family, it does not prevent that person being born into a higher realm. However, even though one person being born into a higher family, spiritual family, in that family, that person might be studying the spiritual scriptures, always doing the prayers and all the spiritual activities. But if the person in the meantime, drinking alcohol, abusing other people, killing other beings, stealing things, engage in sensual sexual misconduct, lying, doing unwholesome actions, even though that person study and engage in spiritual activities, being born into a spiritual family, that person will not go into a good destination. Whereas even a person being born into a lower realm, lower family, if the person do a lot of good works, that person will certainly go into a much, much higher realm. So Buddha confirmed the fact that birth in a so-called outcast family, according to the social divisions, is no bar to progress spiritually and be reborn in the higher celestial worlds. On the other hand, those who are born into the so-called higher families, such as Brahma family, with the studies of scriptures, holy books, still can commit unwholesome actions, eventually bear the consequences. That was the meaning, that was the actual translation of the today's Gatha. Buddha tried to explain to this householder Brahmin, to explain how a person can exist in the world. So with that, I'm going to conclude my Dhamma reflection. May this Dhamma Dana bring a great happiness and also confidence about our own life, how we can discipline our body, discipline our mind, discipline our actions, and cultivate the deep level of meditations. Through that, only one can get purified and be born into a higher realm. It is not just because such and such a person being born into a particular lineage or family, that does not qualify the person to gain a good existence in the journey of death and birth cycle we call samsara. May this Dhamma Dana bring you the liberation, enlightenment, happiness, and progress in all means. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Today, this Dhamma Dana program, this Saturday evening program, is very kindly being sponsored by Mrs. Laura Woodward, very kindly in loving memory of Mr. Joe Woodward, beloved father, to transfer the merits into his good name. May he rejoice in these merits and attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana, the lasting happiness. May the merits be with all other departed relatives and friends of the family of Mrs. Laura Woodward, and may they also benefit from these merits, and may they rejoice in the lasting happiness, Nibbana. May the blessings be with all in the family. May they all be well, happy, and peaceful. Also, may the blessings be with those who are participating into this program. May they equally benefit from our meritorious activities and attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much. Now I will pass on to Rasikaya to go ahead with the, and also our Padmanona to go ahead with the next program with the children.
Good evening, everyone. So we learned the 25th Gatha today from Vasala Sutta. We have been learning 24 Gathas in the past. In detail, both Guru gave us a deep understanding of what this Gatha means. So we learned 3 weeks ago that one doesn't become an outcast because of his birth, his or her birth, but because one's action. Now, when I heard today's Gatha, the meaning from Hamdulu, I was thinking how cleverly Buddha's planning to make Agigabharatwada understand who is Vasala, who is an outcast. Because when he called Buddha, you're an outcast. And when Buddha asked, do you know who is an outcast? He said, I don't know. So this Vasala Sutta explains who is Vasala, who is an outcast. Now we learn today that it is not a bar for you to make progress in your spiritual life and be born as a higher celestial world. Even if you are born in a family of lower caste. See how Buddha tried to make him understand the same point, looking at from different angles. And Buddha also has a special skill that he could make someone understand by knowing his level of understanding. So when he explains a point, he explains in the way, at the level he could understand. So in other words, he could provide details according to the level of his understanding. And this is so fascinating. I was thinking about this when Hamadeva was explaining how Buddha is trying to explain who is an outcast and who is not by looking at different aspects of a person. So we also learned today that even if you are born in a higher caste family, if you do unwholesome activity, you will pay the price. There's no hiding behind. So in other words, if you do good karma, you will get good results. If you do bad karma, it's the opposite. Doesn't matter how good you are looking, how good looking you are, how rich you are, how big a house you are living in. And so on. None of them matter. What you do with your mind, what you do with your body, and what you do with what you say, basically using words, that's what matters at the end of it. really good lesson for all of us to learn, particularly children. From now on, if you understand this theory of Dhamma, you have a great opportunity for you to shape up your life to become a great person. Believe me. And the effort both Dhamma will put in to make you understand this is enormous. And we can't thank you enough to Hamdu to give this Dhamma every Saturday to make you all understand the importance of learning these lifetime Dhamma lessons. So we have to pay gratitude to Hamdu. Let us put our palms together and everybody say, may this Dhamma, may the blessings of this Dhamma bring both Hamaduru, Samita Hamaduru, and Uttaranda Hamaduru great happiness and great health. Sadhu, sadhu. Wonderful. Thank you. Good. So let us, I think I have put a presentation order today for you guys to do your homework. And I would kindly invite the first person, Chandy, to start the presentation. Thank you.
I'm going to recite the 24th Gatha of Vasala Sutra. So Devayana Marvaya Virajan So Mahapatan Kamaragan Virajitva Brahmaloka Pagu Ahu. Meaning of his stanza is, along the passion-free high road, Saurpaka reached the Brahma Realm, having given up sense desires. Terawan Saranai.
Thank you, Charidinangi. So Devayana Maruya Virajam So Mahapatam Kamarakam Virajitva Brahmalokupagu.
This Gatha tells us, mounting the celestial chariot along the passion-free high road, Saurpaka reached the Brahma Realm, having given up some sensual desires.
Now we find out that Saurpaka attained the stages of deep mental absorptions called jhana that the Buddha's disciples attained through meditation. These mental absorptions are only attained when you eradicate all the defilements of the body.
There are 8 jhanas consisting of 4 material jhanas, rupa jhana, and 4 immaterial jhanas, arupa jhana. Unless one is fully enlightened, like a Buddha or an Arahant, one who attains any of these jhanas by giving up sensual desires, kamaraga, is reborn in one of the celestial worlds, such as Brahmaloka.
These defilements you have to eradicate are ignorance, craving, and greed. Although there are many more, you only have to eradicate these 3 to become happy, as they are the worst things you could ever do in your life. Thank you for listening. Terawan Saranai.
Thank you, Vidin and Vidunya. The 24th Gatha of the Vasala Sutta is So Devayana Maria Vijang So Mahapatang Kamaragang Virajatwa Brahmaloku Pago Ahu. The meaning of this Gatha is Soparka seem to have the stages of deep mental absorptions jhana that the Buddha and the other enlightened disciples also have attained through meditation. There are 8 jhanas consisting of 4 fine material jhanas, rupa jhana, and 4 immaterial formless jhanas, arupa jhana. Unless one is fully enlightened through the insight meditation, one who attains any of these jhanas by giving up sensual desires, kamaraga, is reborn in one of the celestial worlds known as Brahmaloka. Thank you for listening to our ceremony.
Thank you, Seth. So Devayana Mareha Marajam So Mahapatam Kamaragam Vera Jetavena Brahmaloka Kapago Aho. To translate this to English meaning, it means mounting the celestial chariot along the passion-free high road, Sopaka reached the Brahmana realm, having given up sense desires. Sopaka seems to have attended deep stages of mental absorption, jhanas, that the Buddha and the other enlightened disciples also had attained through the meditation. There are 8 jhanas consisting of 4 material jhanas, rupaka jhanas, and 4 immaterial jhanas, formless jhanas, or rupa jhanas. Unless one fully enlightened through insight meditation, one who tries any of these jhanas by giving up sensual desires, kamaraga, is reborn in one of these celestial worlds known as Brahmaloka. Thank you for listening. Teranang Saranai.
Thank you, Sanket Malli. So Devayana Maruiha Virajanso Mahapatang Kamaragam Virajitva Brahmaloku Pagovahu. Yam Pudgale Keles Durakota Tama ආධ්‍යාත්මික දියුණුවම අඩයි නම් ඔහු දිව්‍ය වාහනයකින් දුෂ්කරතා නොමැතිවම උසස්ම බ්‍රහ්ම ලෝක තලයට පමුණුවයි. තෙරුවන් සරණයි.
Thank you, Virulaya. So Devayanamariha Virajanso Mahapatam Kamaragam Virajitva Brahmaloko Pagoahun. Upon the way to Deva worlds, set forth along the spotless path and cleansed of sense desired. Attained to Brahma's world, they say, unhindered he by birth at all. He won to Brahma worlds. Thank you for listening. Teruvan Saranai.
Thank you, Alvishi and Hasindu Ariana. Today we'll say the 24th Gatha of Vasala Sutta. Shodevayana Maruya Virajanso Mahapatam Kamaragam Virajitva Brahmaloko Pagoaho. Sopaka seems to have attained the stages of deep mental absorptions that the Buddha and the other enlightened disciples also had attained through meditation. There are 8 jhanas consisting of 4 time material, rupa dhan, and 4 immaterial, formless dhan, arupa dhan. Unless One is fully enlightened through insight meditation. One who attained any of these dhanas by giving up sensual desires, karma raga, is reborn in one of the celestial worlds, known as Brahmalokas.
The Sinhala meaning of the Gatha is Deolovata Janayata Nega Yamen Kelesun No Meti Magayana Sindalamin Kam Suwaya Sita Langa Yehetame Bambalowata Aga.
Thank you for listening. Terawan Saranai.
Thank you. Thank you all for doing your homework and learning these gathas and sharing your knowledge with everyone. Right. Any questions?
Yes. Okay. So, my first question, no, I don't have two questions, but my question is, if the animal loka and the human loka are two different separate worlds, then how come we live together? That's what I'm asking. I'm just puzzled.
Okay. Did everyone understand William's question? Yes. Any idea, Hasan? If it is two worlds, why are we living together? Animal world, we call animal world, we call human world. But William's question is, why mix up those two worlds? Yeah, Hasan?
Before I answer, can I just check that the animal world is counted as one of the hells?
Yes.
So I was thinking that maybe the animal world live with the human world as I'm starting to feel like this isn't exactly right, but I feel like the human world is part of their penance, so we exist alongside them. I'm not sure, but I know what I'm thinking, but I don't feel that it's right.
But I appreciate your effort to give an answer, Hasan. Well done. Let us go to Abhishek.
Well, I think that even though we live in the same world, the quality of life we live and how we live in this world is different, which is why it's depicted as two worlds, the human realm and the animal realm. Even though we live and coexist together, the humans have their own way of life, and we can think, and like Hamza said, we have a brain, we can think and make complex decisions, whereas animals, they tend to look for food, for shelter, for other animals to live with, and that's why there's to be two different worlds. I'm rambling now.
Thank you, Abhishek. Good. Anyone else? Metal.
Even though they're two worlds, I think that they live in one because, like, they're living things. And yeah, I also agree with Avish's suggestion too.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I think that humans and animals live together so that we could work alongside them, but it could count as a hell because for the animals, because we kill them for to get meat, but as well as it could be for animals to live with humans, as well as so that we could work together and cultivate food and like before we used to use animals to cultivate food and all that. Maybe it's to be used for fertilization and for the trees to grow and all that. Maybe it's for the food chain supply to grow. Because for example, we need bulls to go on the soil, to beat up the soil so that the seeds can grow, so that crops can go for other animals. So to supply the food chain, that's why I think animals live with humans alongside and to help other animals as well. That's what I think, but I don't know if it's true, correct.
Okay. Good, thank you. Okay. Seth, what do you think?
I think, yeah, because I think the same as Sanket, because we share our, like where we live, because we also use them as to eat them, and also it maybe could remind us of what could happen to us if we do bad things.
Yeah, thank you. Viral, how are you after a long time?
I'm good, thank you. So I think that's the same as said, because let's say like us as humans, if we didn't have animals, most of us wouldn't probably understand the sins and stuff. So like, for example, like some people, when they see an animal dead in the street, like let's say like a squirrel, they will understand what's it like to be an animal. So like I think animals and humans lives together, so like we can understand how bad another life is compared to humans and gods.
Okay, right. So we got lots of different ideas. All of you are good. But when you look at these 31 words that Hamdu was talking earlier, what we have to ask ourselves, the question, even though they are words, they could be sharing our environment. So, for example, like Vipin said, animals and humans are sharing this world. And the other beings who are in the other 28 worlds, just because we can't see them doesn't mean that they are in a different world. They are among us. The only difference is they haven't got a physical body. That we can see. The human eye cannot see. They are also among us. even though it is called a separate world, doesn't mean it's physically separated from this world. Is that clear? Yeah. So it's very interesting, your answers, the way you look at these things. Thank you for your feedback. I'm trying to understand these questions. And we learn from each other. Okay. Any idea with them? Now you heard the answer to that question. What do you think now?
I think I might just answer my own question.
In what way?
Like, I have developed an answer. So, the answer to my question, or my answer to my question, is my answer that I have developed from other people's answers to answer my question is so humans and animals live in the same world, but they are classed as different realms because I think that animals is because they perceive life in a different way to humans, because humans, they have a sort of economical way of life, and the animals, they have a more sort of basic way of life. They just need food, shelter, and also company. So yeah, that's what I think.
What do you think, Evelyn?
I think that if so, the animals, because we're sharing with them, because if we didn't have the animals, then we wouldn't really like have what we have now, like the food and the meat and company.
And the only thing that we use animals for is not just meat. We don't just eat them.
What's the difference between animals and people? Abhishi pointed it out. And Sanket raised a point as well, that animal world is a hell. Hassan, do you want to say something? No? Right. So what's the difference then?
The difference is that humans can have a logical way, like they think logically, whereas animals just do what they do.
The fundamental difference is that, like Abhish said, people can think, humans can think. They have a brain. They can talk. But animals can't do that. So why is it called hell then? Okay.
I think it's called hell between animal realms and human realms, because when you think about it, humans have more choice than animals. Animals just have to do just as their ancestors did. They eat, produce, and sleep. But humans have choices. They could even choose what they do. They can have, like here, we can easily travel all around the world. We have technology. So if you think about it, we have more luxury lifestyle than animals, because animals have don't have much choice than we do, while we can think what to do and have more luxury.
I want you to think about the fundamental difference between humans and animals, and along that line give me the answer. Why is animals world is called a hell? Why is it become a hell? Yeah, Hazil.
Well, I think that the animal world is a hell and the human world isn't a hell. Wait, no. I think the animal world is a hell because even though they do live a life, but they share it with the humans, and humans don't really respect animals. So the fact that they live with humans cause them pain, and yeah.
Why?
Because not all humans respect animals.
Thank you, Hazil. I wish you could say.
Yeah. According to my notes, the fourth plane is the animal realm, the sixth plane is the heaven, and the fifth plane is human. So we are caught in between the animals and the heavenly beings. And both the animals and the heavenly beings are born into that world with bring in their merits and sins from the other world, from their life before, which determines which one they're born into now. And same with the humans. But as humans are found right in the middle, I think the difference between them and the animals is that they have a choice to change the life that they're in right now. For example, if I make a lot of bad decisions in my life, I can turn the life I'm living right now, the human realm 5, into a 4, into a bad life, a hell for me. But if I make a lot of right decisions and study well, I can make my life almost a heaven and live a good life. But in the animal realm, no matter how hard you work as an animal to what they can do, you can't really progress in life. You can't make it better, you can't make it, you can make it worse, but not like that.
Brilliant. Well done. That's the bottom line. Nice. The people can think, they can talk, and they can do the right thing. Stop doing the wrong thing. Animals fundamentally cannot do that.
There is one objection. It is because obviously said that animals can't actually develop to become better, but when I heard Hamdul tell about that elephant who brought food to Buddha, that's doing a good thing, isn't it? Yes, it is. So that means that animals can do good things in a way.
In a way they can, but not as much as humans can. Yes.
But the animal was still born into a heavenly realm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
obviously I didn't say that they cannot do it, but they are restricted because
they
can't
just not
think and talk.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Good. So.
So does this prove that, because some people believe that we evolved from animals, does that prove them wrong? Because then we adapt to living from hell, then if that's from what other people think. So I'm kind of stuck now because some people believe that we evolved from animals and I just said that they probably think that then if they learn this, then they probably think that we're living a hell, but we've then adapted to it. So am I just missing out a very important thing, or am I just feeling stuck?
Did Buddha say that people are evolved
But they never mentioned theory of evolution. It was Charles Dickens.
from
No, not Charles Dickens. Charles Darwin.
animals? Where did you hear that said?
Charles
I don't know. It's just in some thing. I don't know. I just found it out somewhere.
Darwin.
Okay.
So it's just for
So
those who.
what you have to do said, you go by what Buddha said, and only what Buddha said. Why? Because Buddha is our greatest teacher.
So
Yes.
and only believe what Buddha says.
So we say that we every day we say Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Isarani, repentance.
Oh,
So when you say that I believe in what Buddha said, I believe in Buddha, I believe in Dhamma, I believe in Sangha. So there's no other things that you need to believe in. If you do so, you'll end up with a mess. Okay? So we have only one teacher, only one Dhamma, only one Sangha. Yes? So keep it in your heart, keep it in your mind. When you say Buddha Saranam Gacchami, that's it. There's nothing beyond it. Okay? Right. Good. Thank you again for your feedback, for sharing your knowledge with us. Great discussion today we had. And let's do some meditation. Over to Padma teacher. Thank you, Padma.
Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me? Yeah, I had a disruption actually. I could not hear you. And you all can hear me well, aren't you? Thank you. Have you all made the Vesak sentence? Yeah? Check. So celebrate it at home. Nobody came to the temple.
I came to the temple. That was a temple I went to.
Yeah, the 18th century. The rest of the others, what happened? Well done. What about Sankit?
I wasn't able to come because my dad's cafe was busy, so we had to come to help my dad to the cafe. That's why. So we couldn't come because the cafe was busy.
Sindhu and Avishni?
I had a volunteering and then a dance class, then a lambda exam, so I couldn't come, sorry.
Yeah, I also had a lambda lesson,
Exam.
and public speaking exam at the same time, so we couldn't come. And I had dancing in the morning.
Anyone knows who is this Ubyangani? Vasika, you know who's Ubyangani?
Oh, not a clue.
Lambda. Lambda's a public speaking organization.
Anyway, lovely to see you all after a very long time. We were expecting temple. Unfortunately, we haven't seen even single light of the Dhamma school. So what about Vidun and Vidun's sister?
She went to the toilet.
You make you are the one who showed that London. Okay. Now we have a few minutes, so we can do short meditation. We will improve our compassion meditation. Yeah? Sitting in the comfortable posture. Relaxing yourself. Make light and make yourself comfortable. You are quite comfortable now. Observe the posture of your sitting. Any part of your body is hiding. Pay attention to the heart and to that mindfully. Stretch your legs, hands with mindfully. Recite silently. All these thinking, understand this as the really are. I have heard all these things. What? Try to do a little bit of research to understand things. Sleep is as impermanent, unsatisfactoriness, myself. All these things in your age, you'll be very lucky. Have lots of time now. Practice. You have the Anita Dukkana. Search before after meditation. all we understand as they really are. Not as permanent, satisfactory, sad. Everything, condition is impermanent, unstable, therefore unreliable. Moving on to those, we create our own suffering. The thought that people have no soul because nothing is permanent. There is suffering in the samsara and also in void. Now there are so many like heavens from suffering. By attaining this soft calm, by completely defeating sensual pleasures, resentments, escape from burning lust, I can be free from suffering. I be free from defilements and attain this state of final emancipation. Don't have to speak the same words, the same tone. You have to adapt everything. Otherwise, if you heard something different, you will get confused. So therefore, different ways meditation. Only we can brush up ourselves. Without shaping our minds. Extending loving kindness, sympathy, joy, ones, mudita, equanimity, upekha. I have heard the others. And according to imagination. All these happen. They are hearts without any hatred and sensual pleasures. By the firm determination of this truth, may I be well at heart. Peaceful mind. By understanding how things really are, believing in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, I perform this determination. By the body is calm. Now my mind is clear. Asleep. Now my mind is the relief of all problems. As we were, this world made up of four great elements. Once new age already lucky. Solidity and air. All things in this 31 realms. As you heard of the Dhamma talk, we feel with loving kindness, joy, and equality. We feel compassion, desires, craving, hate, illusion, all these living on this 31 worlds be happy. All good things. Maybe create more problems. Of samsara, forever and not least. One after you can be silently. firm determination, if you expend the world plenty of nectar, world of top merits. That loving kindness, compassion, and force. Short meditation, we will ask forgiveness of force, for shortcomings, from the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. And anybody tell me, anybody can hear me clearly or not? Vasala, can you hear me?
There's a bit of background noise. Sometimes it is not very clear.
Vasila, Abhishek, we hear what I said.
A bit, yes.
With disturbances. Or did not hear at all.
We could hear you, but every now and then there'd be a noise in the background. Like, I'm not sure exactly what it was though.
We can hear you, but there's a ringing when you speak.
Okay, sorry about that. I can't understand what is wrong with that. Even if you were talking, you all were talking, I did not hear the word. We will try our best, yeah? And let's sit back in the patient posture. Is it okay if I relog? Or still, is it okay? A few of them were saying that it's not clear. Is it okay, Hasindu, now?
There's some background noise when you're talking.
Yeah.
The same? So we will ask for the forgiveness. Words. From the endless samsara up to this moment, if I have committed any sinful act by action, word or mind, sit in a meditation posture. In these 3 ways, towards the Lord Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. I also committed a sinful act by mind, word, or action. In these 3 ways, against anybody in this world. Please forgive me. From the endless samsara up to this moment, if I have committed any sin, that word or mind, kayana vacha chittena, in all these three ways towards to nature, with the energy provided by the four elements: liquidity, apo, tejo, vayo, yeah, if I have committed any sinful act, such as ill-treatment, accusation, injustice, criticism, and curses against anybody in this world, please forgive me. Stay in silence 1 second. We will transfer this to everybody in this world. And may my departed relatives share these merits. Stay in this serenity. 1 minute to finish our meditation for the day. Placing our palms jointly together, prayer posture, close to our heart, grateful for having this opportunity, grateful to your parents, teachers, and all around you. We are all this in our mind. We will say sadhu 3 times out loud. I will let Methul and Nidhi say please. Sadhu 3 times.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you all. Hope to see you all next week. Over to you.
Thank you, Fabio. Right. So you can leave now, yeah, after saying Dhamma Guru and teachers. Okay. And keep your cameras on until the last minute, please. Once everyone finished, then you can do it. Okay, channel.
Teruvan Saranai Hamdurane Rasika Mama and Padmano Auntie.
Set.
Teron Saranai Hamduru, Rasikamama, and Padmanti.
Okay.
Teranang Saranai Hamdunu, Padmanti, and Rasika Mami.
Abhishek.
Teruvan Saranai Hamdurune Nasmane Padmanti.
Guru.
Teruvan Saranai Hamdurune Rasikamami Padmanendu.
Teruvan Saranai Hamdurune, Teruvan Saranai Rasikamama, and Teruvan Saranai Padmanenti.
We had a. Oh, we didn't. Sorry.
Teruvan Saranai Hamdurune,
Teruvan Saranai Hamdurune, Teruvan Saranai
Padmanandi,
and
Teruvan
Teruvan
Saranai
Saranai
Bhakta.
I was going to ask Hamdurune if we have anything to say before we leave.
Sorry, Rasika, I didn't hear you.
I was going to ask you, Hamdurune, if you have anything to say before we go.
Yes, no, the children, well done, children. And yes, so they all engaged in the discussions. I was attending to some other religious activities here in the temple. So therefore I couldn't participate fully to the teaching session. But I am extremely grateful to Rasikaya and Padmanona for making their Dhamma lessons very, very rich. There was slightly a sound distortion, little bit of the meditation Padmanona tried to do, but it is a very good meditation. I think we need to repeat it again in the next time to get into that type of understanding in the meditation, which is very good. Other than that, I think everyone, Sanket was putting the hands up, I think. Were you going to say something? I think no, isn't it? So, no, everyone did very well. Yes, so they did not ask any questions, Rasikaya, did they?
They did, so we didn't ask the question. Hamduru was talking about 31 worlds, and then how come animals and humans are sharing this world? Why are they together if there are different worlds?
Oh, yes, yes. Actually, not only animals and other humans, some others are with us. Sometimes we can't really see them. Like some beings are there that you need special equipment to see some beings. So still they are animal world, those we see through the scientific equipments. Yes, so it is the most obvious two existence, animal existence and the human existence. Divine beings, higher beings, and lower realms we can't really see into our naked eyes, but if you develop some meditation knowledges, you would be able to see some of those. There are some stories that they have seen some demons and all sort of lower level, and also some people have seen some divine heavenly beings as well. That depends on the capabilities of the mind, but in general terms, that what Buddha said, when your actions are the most important thing, Buddha said. What you do, what you say, what you think is the most important thing. If you do good things, if you say good things, if you think good things, you create your heavenly life. If you are doing bad things by word, speech, and mind, it can lead you into unhappy state of beings. That is the serious thing that you can really, like, you know, that animals, Vidun was talking about an elephant, what I referred. Similarly, you know, the Buddha, the Prince Siddhartha, left the palace with the horse. Anyone knows the name of the horse? And the horse had a little bit of a broken heart and he died. He didn't come back because he was sad to leave the Buddha. And it says that he was born into a good existence. He was born into a good level of things. But their choices, as Sanket said, their choices are very limited. They just survive. They eat, they sleep, they reproduce and die. Whereas we human being has a lot of choices. But those are the two clearly can be seen, animal realm and the human realm. You can't really see the divine realm, Brahma realm, and also four great miserable, unhappy realms. But in practical terms, when you are angry, you are in the hell. When you are greedy, you are in the hungry ghost level. When you are jealous, you are in the Asura demon level. Jealous Asura demon level. And when you are low qualities, then you are naturally going from your mind into a lower levels.
We seem to have disconnected.
Sorry?
Yes, us. No, it's not them, it's us. Look, everyone else is frozen, but us.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
No, it's how you all do.
No.
no, it says our internet.
Did you hear what I say, Rasikaya?
About a minute ago, Hamdani, your connection got frozen.
Yeah, it was our connection.
Yes. No, I was saying, did you hear the horse, the Lord Buddha's horse?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that we had. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the only new thing. Other than that, it's all in our mind. If you are angry, then you are in the hell. If you are greedy, you are in the hungry ghost existence. If you are jealous, then you are in the Asura level. So you can see it in this very life. So you said that you can only see human and animals. There are ways that you can see the hungry ghost. When you are a very greedy person, you are a hungry ghost. So you can see the hungry ghost. When you are an angry person, you are in the hell. We can see those who are in the hell because you are angry. And when you are jealous people are in the Asura. And when you are kind, when you are talking nicely, you are in the heaven. If you are super kind, then you are in the Brahma world. So we can see instantly. Yeah. So likewise, you can see like that. If you are like fidgety, then you are in the animal world. If you like scratch like that and your hair legs goes up and down and things like that, then you are in a little bit of an animal world because the fidgety and things.
So we have to get ready for the possum now. The sack is gone already, is it?
Yes, you need to have lanterns, Vesak lanterns and things like that.
It's not Vesak lantern, the Thorang is it for possum.
Mihintalawa, yes.
Can somebody make Mihinkala? When is the Sappoide Bante? Celebrate in the temple as early as possible. Let them other commitments.
Anina, thank you very much and wish you all a very happy week. And look forward to see you all again soon.
You can leave now. Thank you.
Class is dismissed.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.
Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Bye,
See you all
everybody.
next time.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Just say bye.
අපි නවතින හැමෝටම ගාවම
හොඳයි රසිකා යන්නේ හොඳයි තෙරුවන් සරණයි හොඳයි.
It's only 9 o'clock.